That big ball of light in the sky is hopefully about to get darker. It's eclipse day. It's 18:35, early evening. Apparently this eclipse has just started on the west coast of the UK. So hopefully it's starting to move its way across, and hopefully we should see some kind of effect of it very soon. I'm just out in a random farmer's field, or on the edge of a random farmer's field in Suffolk. I just wanted to come out and find a quiet spot. I could get a couple of cameras out and hopefully see it get dark. Fingers crossed. I've got the Action 6 here. I've got the Pocket 3 over there. Both cameras have the exposure locked off, so any change in the light levels that you see going up and down is because of a big ball of rock that's moved in front of that big light in the sky. It's not the camera changing the exposure or trying to compensate for anything. It's just the effect of the eclipse, which is what I really want to try and capture, just because I'm a nerd. So let's just wait and see what happens. It's quite a strange feeling, just waiting for something to happen. I don't know how dramatic it's going to be. This is the funny thing. I have no idea what to expect. I don't know if this is going to just suddenly plunge us into some kind of darkness and the street lights will come on and all that kind of thing. Bats will fly out of caves. Or if it's just going to be a little bit different. I'm really not sure. It's quite a fascinating thing. If I'd have been functioning with more than 3 brain cells, which I rarely do in fairness, I'd have set the R6 Mark II up in manual with a live histogram so I could see distinctly when the light levels start to drop. So in what is possibly not a very good move, I've put my most expensive camera on my flimsiest tripod, but it has a purpose. So with the exposure settings on this Action 6, you're not going to see the screen much, unfortunately. But I'm not shooting on this camera in any way whatsoever. I purely have it up for that live histogram, just to give me a visual, an absolute visual reference as to what the ambient light levels are like. If it does start to drop as the moon moves in front of the sun, I'll see that histogram start to shift to the left. So even if my eyes feel like they're playing tricks on me, I can just look at that histogram, which at the moment is slammed right up to the right side, as you would do if you were exposing to the right in a kind of on an image. If anything changes, that histogram will give me a definitive reference as to whether I'm imagining it. It's quite exciting. I'm not certain what time things are due to be happening. I'm sure I heard somewhere that around this part of the country it was going to be kind of 7:05, something like that. But it's really just a waiting game and seeing what happens. What glorious evening though. I can't imagine coming out to watch a solar eclipse and it being cloudy. What an anticlimax that would be. This is absolutely wonderful. I've been getting quite kind of, depressed is the wrong word, but feeling a bit down with the state of the weather and these constant heat waves and, you know, reservoirs drying up and all that kind of thing. But I have to admit, right now, that cloudless sky is just glorious. I've just heard on the radio it's a couple of minutes away from hitting totality in Iceland, so hopefully we're not too far off something obvious happening. There's definitely a bigger gap to the right of that histogram now. Sorry, again, I know you can't really see that screen, but something's happening up there, that's for sure. The Pocket 3 here is just shooting standard video. It's just in standard 24 frames a second, 4K. I'm not doing a time lapse or anything. So it's going to be really interesting looking back at that, speeding it up and seeing if you see a distinct drop of the light levels. I suspect you will. The only thing I'm not sure of is how low the light levels will actually drop. There's a distinct gap now to the right of the histogram on that R6 Mark II. So it's definitely lower. You can even actually feel the temperature dropping. That's quite cool. Well, quite literally. It's also going to be interesting looking back at the stuff I'm shooting on this Action 6 as I'm recording different clips, because the exposure's locked off. As the light level drops, as that big ball of rock moves in front of the sun, each one of these clips, when I cut them together, should be getting darker, in theory. It definitely feels a bit darker and a bit cooler. Let's have a look at that histogram. There is definitely a distinct gap there now. It feels quite strange, actually, in a very kind of calm and peaceful way. It feels very, very tranquil just standing here with this all happening. And I haven't felt that for quite a while. So I'm very happy to feel that again. I probably shouldn't point my phone straight at the sun, but I'm risking it anyway. Again, that's probably not going to be very clear on the Action 6, but there's a distinct cut-off on the lower right side of the moon. That's really cool, just even in a basic phone photo, that's really, really cool being able to physically see that. There's an interesting little reflection down here as well. That's just an internal reflection as the light bounces between the various lenses of the camera assembly. And all of that is going on up there. It's getting dark. It's getting dark. The temperature's dropped. This is amazing. This feels amazing, just being out here with this happening. Let's have a look at the camera. It's probably a stop darker than it was when I got that camera out. I love this. For all of the stuff that's going on, all of the bad stuff, however, I'm just going to fumble my words now, but however much we've wrecked the planet, there are still some amazing things that happen in this universe. And this is one of them. And it's such a privilege to be here and just observe it. Just be a tiny, tiny, tiny little speck on this rock floating through the solar system and witness this. Just magical. It's 6:56 now. I've just taken a couple of shots on the camera on the R6 Mark II, just with the exposure the same as it was earlier, and just compared the histograms of the images. And even taking shots within 10 seconds of each other, you can see the histogram creeping to the left as the light levels drop. It's amazing. It's just amazing to see. And I can also see the exposure on my little preview screen here on the Action 6, how much darker that's become. Again, the exposure on all of the cameras is locked off, so any difference in the light that you see is purely due to the eclipse. And oh, this is incredible. This is just incredible. I keep taking photos of the sun with my phone just so I can see the position of the moon in front. And it's hardly moving. It's moved so slowly going across, and it's still only covering a fraction of it, and the light levels have dropped significantly. So I don't think this is going to be a particularly quick event. And I suspect if it carries on, it's going to get a whole lot darker than this. And it's already dropped. Probably 2 stops darker now on the R6 Mark II histogram. And that is the kind of exposure we have at the moment. So this was pretty much a perfectly exposed image at the start, and now it's probably, well, yeah, 2 or 3 stops underexposed. The light levels have dropped so significantly. Can't even see the screen on the Pocket 3. And pointing the Action 6 straight at the sun, when I did that at the start of this, it was just a complete whiteout, whereas now it's a distinct small white blob. I'm really kind of amazed that people are just going about their normal daily lives and are not stopping to take this in. I get that people, have been at work all day. I've been at work all day, but what a thing to pause, just hit the pause button on life. Just stop everything and just experience it. Experience something this wonderful and this rare. Savor it, savor the moment. I did just kind of look at the sun just with my naked eye, which is a very silly thing to do, albeit very briefly, but I still just got the sense of being able to see the moon move in front. I can just see a big green blob now, which is a bit silly, but Anybody who has a proper ND filter on the camera, getting a real, or telescope or something like that, getting a real close-up shot of that must have an incredible view. I realise that an awful lot of this video is just going to be a dark image with a voice, but I can't think of any other way of accurately representing the change in the light levels and the difference that I'm actually experiencing here, other than locking the exposure on the camera off and just leaving it to do its thing, or to not do its thing even, just to stay static and actually represent the light levels as they change. If I left the camera in auto, it would just, you wouldn't see a thing. As the light from the sun drops, the camera would just increase its exposure and compensate for it. Doing this, you see, hopefully, it go from a bright, clear, well-exposed image down to, well, something that's really quite dark. And it really does feel dark. It genuinely does feel dark. Oh, so bizarre. It's incredible, but bizarre. It's such a strange feeling. I think something that's really quite strange, and maybe kind of playing tricks with how I'm perceiving this, is we're very used to seeing the light drop in the evening when the sun gets low and the shadows are super extended. Whereas here, the sun's still quite high in the sky, but it's really dark. So everything about how the light is hitting the landscape and how it feels with this darkness, but the sun still being quite high, everything's just completely alien. It's a very, very different experience to conventional night. I've just had a realization that's hit me really quite hard. This isn't going to happen again until 2081, and I'm not going to be here anymore in 2081. So this is the last time in my entire life that, oh wow, that I'm going to experience this. Oh, that's really hit me. That really has hit me. What a privilege. What an absolute privilege. A tiny little plane up there. What kind of view they're getting? I think, just comparing two images on the R6 Mark II, I think we're starting to go the other way now. I think it's just starting to creep back up. Still feels very dark. Yeah, we're definitely creeping back up. It's 16 minutes past 7 now, and I've just compared two images on the R6 Mark II and looked at the histogram, and there's a distinct shift back up to the left. Every now and then you just feel it nudge up. Again, I'm not sure if it's just my brain playing tricks on me. Oh, this is so surreal. I have no idea what kind of video this is going to be, by the way, just me being a rambling, babbling idiot in the middle of a field. But then again, pretty much all of my videos are just a rambling, babbling idiot in the middle of a field. So if you've seen anything from me before, you're probably used to that by now. I can't get my head around how utterly surreal, but absolutely incredible this is. I didn't expect it to feel this powerful. I don't really know what I expected, but I didn't expect it to feel this powerful. Well, it's my last one. I need to make the most of it. I've just taken another photo on my phone, and the moon is now distinctly moving across to the other side of the sun and kind of moving out of the way of it. So as it shifts and reveals our nearest star again, we'll start to see these light levels creep back up. I would love to get the view that they're getting in that plane. I imagine seeing the way the light hits the landscape change must be quite an interesting thing to see from a small plane. Again, it's not going to look like anything normal. I mean, it is perfectly, the solar eclipse is perfectly normal, but I guess I mean more regular than normal. What I hadn't banked on when I parked Ernie up was the sun shifting position and casting shadows through those trees. So Ernie isn't going to be basking in direct light once the sun reveals itself again, but never mind. This has all actually been going on longer than I really realised. The Pocket 3, just in this static position, has now been recording for 52 minutes. So, yeah, I didn't expect it to be a quick event, but it's actually taken a bit longer than I expected, which has been really nice actually, because it's just been lovely to be out here and experience it just in this peace and quiet. Feels like we're kind of in the last bits of the moon moving across now. So I imagine in maybe 10 to 15 minutes we might be back to kind of normal. I was trying to say I'm struggling with words, and I really am, because this has felt just I'm struggling with words because this has felt so much more profound than I ever imagined it would. There's nobody else here. I'm in fields or farmland. There's an occasional passing car, but apart from that, I'm completely on my own. And this has felt like such an intimate experience. It's felt like nothing has existed other than me, the sun, and the moon. And I didn't expect it to feel like that. It's felt profoundly moving. And it's hit me far harder than I ever imagined it would. I expected it to feel special. But the experience of it has been so much more profound. And I'm so grateful that I had an evening tonight where I could just come out somewhere like this and experience it. I've said several times recently that the state of the planet is hitting me quite hard. And, you know, I'm feeling really quite deeply affected by the endless, just stuff that I wish weren't happening. And just for an hour, I've forgotten about all of that. And I felt profoundly at peace. So it's 7:45 now. The Pocket 3 is 75 minutes into its filming. It's just been sat there doing one complete clip. So I'm really looking forward to seeing how that looks sped up and seeing the light levels drop and come back up. There's a tiny sliver of the moon still in front of the sun, but I'm going to call it a day and just head back and try and process what I've just experienced. If you've been out and witnessed this evening, I really genuinely hope you've found it as moving and as humbling, I guess is a word, as I have. It's genuinely been... I'm still lost for words. It's just been wonderful. And I really hope you've had a similar experience as well. But for now, I'm going to pack the cameras up and head off. And hopefully next time I see you, I will have learned how to talk and not be fumbling my words quite as much. But, you know, again, you're probably used to me babbling like an idiot by now. Look after yourselves. I'll see you next time. Bye for now.